have got to the end of day 18 of the Undercover Policing Inquiry, Tranche 3, Phase 1. We've been listening to the live evidence of Karen Doyle. She's just ended giving her evidence with quite an impassioned statement. She paid homage to the women from Police Prize Out of Lives for pushing the scandal so much, and everybody really who's worked on it. She talked about she was proud of the work that Movement for Justice did. I'm joined by Donald O'Driscoll of the Undercover Research Group. Donald, what do you make of what we heard?
It was really good. It was part of what she finished with was a quote from Martin Luther King. When he was criticized for supposedly being too violent in his ways in Alabama, he said, "Well, what we're doing is putting a spotlight on tensions that already exist, exposing them to the light in order to be referred to as the boil that needs to be cured." And she's saying, this is what they were doing. They were bringing attention to the horrific racism, the murdering and stuff that was going on. And the inquiry, the McPherson inquiry, was part of that. For them to be spied on and to be characterized in this way as being somehow detrimental to the inquiry, being a public order issue, only concerned with violence. It's just you can see how much she felt that Hagen in particular had insulted all their work, both on a racial level, but just mischaracterized for his own justification. She called it gaslighting several times. It was just really potent.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it is particularly gross. I mean, particularly the way that he bigged up himself, at the time, and then later on tried to play it down. Deeply dishonest reporting about the actions of Movement for Justice, and really that being compounded with the way in which the apology to the families, the justice families, saying, "Oh, we weren't. You were collateral intrusion. We were after those violent extremists in Movement for Justice." Really.
Yeah, and one of the points he made is how empty that apology is if it's on the basis of, we had to infiltrate Movement for Justice because they were a violent subversive organization. Well, they weren't that, so that says the apologies to those family justice campaigns is equally hollow because they're relying on the straw man to justify it. End of the day, it still wasn't justified regardless. And Movement for Justice should probably also get an apology for being mischaracterized so grossly.
Absolutely. I mean, it really should. I mean, it shows really the ridiculous nature of these apologies when they're used as an opportunity by the police to justify themselves at the same time.
Yeah, it's all that. We'll give it one hand, but we need to protect our own reputation. And she did again. A few of the others, she made the point. It's what was all this about? Protecting police reputation.
Yeah.
And going back to all the way through this tranche of hearings, or this phase of hearings, right from the beginning with Ben going, "Oh, we were there to protect the Metropolitan Police reputation." It is the golden principle to the SDS. It's protect your reputation. Don't get caught, but protect the reputation. You can lie through your teeth. You can make anything up. And they took that to its extremes in targeting people who were campaigning in a public inquiry, asking for justice.
Obscene, horrible, really horrible. And we also saw reports about Dave Hagen's withdrawal, about him using his mental health. He claimed to be very depressed. Karen Doyle talked about how she was very worried about him. She thought he might be a credible suicide risk. Then we were shown a report where he reported on her and her mental health, which was very derogatory, really making poking fun essentially at her mental health issues. She said she nearly applied for she thought deeply about applying for a reporting restriction order on it, but she thought it was really important people saw that, given how he wrote that long after he'd had his own diagnosis of PTSD, which he is now relying on in order to getting out of appearing at the inquiry, and really shows how dishonest he is still being.
Yeah, she totally called out his hypocrisy that he could write that. She went to meet him because he was playing up this I'm depressed, I'm going to leave. This is his exit story. He abused her kindness. She wasn't somebody who was ever close to him, but she still felt the need to go and support a fellow comrade. And he just spat in her face back in it, and then wrote this insulting stuff. And it's this sums you up, mate. This sums you up, credibility. And for you to say mental health, it's rotten hell.
Yeah.
Really, as polite as I'm going to be today about that.
It is absolutely appalling. I mean, the fact that he is I mean, there were so many questions to be thrown up about the way that he'd reported, the things that he'd said. I mean, it really shows how despicable it is that he's managed to get out of appearing at the inquiry.
Yeah, and there's no way he needs to be here. He is one of the most important undercovers in all of this, and the fact that he's too much of a coward and has run away and whined, and everybody believes it. It's just like, no, you're playing a game with us, like the way you played the game back in the day when you were on the SDS, and you think you can get away with it. And the fact, if the inquiry really believed in the truth and honesty in all this, release his name. Get him here. You can have anonymity, but you have to anonymity to give evidence, not anonymity to be able to run away and hide from the accountability to your actions. And it was incredible watching the emotion in Karen today, the way she was really telling the story of what was going on to Trump back. And there were saying things like, "Oh, you're a subversive organization." It's just like, we stood for election and we went for engaged in inquiry. We wanted the inquiry to work.
And they had meetings with senior police officers regularly. You know what I mean?
But they needed somebody to be the whipping boy, that they could come in and mischaracterize and justify. And like, there was one of the moments you were saying, "Oh, well, Movement for Justice were stirring up the people at the McPherson inquiries." Didn't have to stir them up.
No.
People were angry, and rightfully angry. They were getting murdered and beaten and harassed in the streets. We didn't need to do that.
No, it's absolute farce.
And racist as well.
Incredibly racist, and dripping with racism. I mean, I think it was very telling that apparently that HN81 isn't a racist. Wouldn't want to be considered a racist. He's not a racist.
She beautifully took apart his report, and I was like, and just pointing out, like, lots of people can think they're racist, not racist, but kind of your actions say you are. You not acknowledge it. He's just shows his delusion for what it is.
I mean, I don't know when it started, this phenomenon now of like very blatantly racist people saying they're not racist. I mean, Tommy Robinson says he's not racist. I mean, it's a nonsense. It's really a nonsense. Judge people by their actions, not by their words. Ridiculous.
His words damn them.
Yeah. And it's been a really long day. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would recommend people to watch the last bit. Like, there's been some great moments where she's really talked it up, and hopefully we can get some clips of them. But the very last bit, when she was given an opportunity to come in and say her words, it was just beautiful. There was another round of applause at the bottom. She was calling for Martin King. It was a Griffin, and you could see that Mitting was riveted. He was just transfixed by her words and what she had to say. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, incredibly powerful stuff. I've noticed we've started getting lots of comments on our YouTube, mostly quite rude, actually. So we'll be ignoring that. I didn't realize I was looking at it what it was going to be like. You can fuck off, mate. We're back again tomorrow at the inquiry. Who have we got?
Oh God, you'll have to remind me of that one. Suck Deaf Real. So I just be doing it's Suck Deaf Real.
Yes.
Her daughter Tish. Suck Def's son was murdered. Ricky Real, the Canada Real, was murdered about 96, 97. And has had a long standing campaign for justice because, as in many other cases, the police deliberately messed up the investigation, weren't interested. It was clear racist policing, and she has fought tirelessly. I mean, really tirelessly for answers.
Yes, Sugev was on one of these lives not long ago, just last week. Really recommend tuning in for that if you're able to. I'll be doing the live reports as usual. This evening, I'll be doing a Twitter Spaces recapping what was said today. It might be quite late on today because I've got something else going on. But yeah, anything else you want to say before we finish?
No, just yeah.
Well, thanks for joining, and we'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.